All right, blacks and whites. What's going on? I was trying to find something to put on the green screen. I don't just have a black square in my room. But coming at you back again, episode 3 of the Quick Cast. Letting you know how I'm doing in life. Because therapy is expensive. So here I am. I'm scratching my back. I'm not picking my ass. So life has been, fucking woo yay fun. If you were following along with the series, you might have heard that I'm trying to find a new job, but the position that I was applying for, the guy decided not to quit. So, yay fun. Stuck it where I am for even longer. Uh, so yeah, new developments at work haven't been the best news. So, continuing the search. You know, but fuck am I talking about work? I ain't even at work, man. I ain't even trying to worry about that shit. But I saw this video earlier. It was sorry for that. It was this guy on I don't know what the fucking podcast is called or whatever, but there's two guys on the subway and they have microphones and whatnot. They tell them your hot takes or whatever. And he was like, I forget who said it, but the guy that was guesting on the show, he said, embarrassment is an underexplored emotion. And I was like, damn, that's pretty. Sorry, I thought I seen something. It was just a cat. And he was like, embarrassment is a very underexplored emotion. Excuse me. And as an artist, you always have that fear that, like, am I just making what everybody else is making? Am I just falling into the same patterns that everybody else, I feel like a lot of times, especially with movies, you can kind of see this more just because, it's a visual media. Um, that, like, sometimes you take a piece from a movie and then it kind of just becomes your movie. Um, and create whatever you want to create. But I have very I don't want to say interesting because then I'm gonna have to go on about it. Very different thoughts on uh, influence versus inspiration. I feel like it's okay to be inspired by somebody, but influence is where you start taking things from their repertoire that make them interesting. But all goes back to embarrassment. Everybody wants to. Nobody likes to be embarrassed. It's not like an emotion. You're like, oh fuck, wake up and let me forget to put my pants on before I go to work. Haven't been embarrassed in a couple weeks. Might as well. But with that being said, whenever you are embarrassed, it's kind of just re-solidifies that thought in your brain that, like, oh, this is embarrassing, therefore it's bad. The most, some of the most, like, creative, influential people that I've ever, well, here I go, inspirational, not influential, inspirational people that I've seen have always been, like, really fucking weird, and, like, my wife, like, loves to make fun of me because I fucking, if I love weird music. If you make a song that doesn't sound like anybody else and it's like, it's just weird, there's a high probability that I'm gonna like your song. But if you show me a song and it's fucking core, or verse, chorus, verse, bridge, chorus, I'm like, dog, go fucking do some math or something. You ain't even doing nothing creative at this point. You're just putting in a fucking A B rhyme scheme over 4 verses and then writing a chorus that you can kind of bop your head to. But nonetheless, uh, yeah, I don't know if I talked about this on here, but just passed a month of sobriety, so that's fun. If you couldn't tell, got my gym clothes on again. I'm about to go in a minute. Uh, should have gone this morning, but oh yeah, this had me sitting on the couch. It's about 4. Damn, it really is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But I was sitting on the couch and I was like, damn, I should have gone to the gym this morning. Blah 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 blah. You're so lazy. You ain't go all weekend. You ain't go Monday. You ain't go Tuesday. And then, I took a second. I was like, give yourself some fucking grace, kid, All weekend, you was out with your family. You was having fun. Went to a Pacers game. They won, so that's cool. Went to Monster Jam with my wife. Uh, Subpar performance, but it was a good time. We got to go down on the track and see all the monster trucks and shit, and even got my little protective headphones signed by Jim Kohler, if you know about Monster Jam. Uh, but yeah, give yourself some grace. Um, just because it isn't exactly how you wanted it to be doesn't mean that it doesn't have any value. Just trying to be a little easier on myself in 2026, and uh, put myself in positions to where I can make that possible. Uh, I've kind of had, creatively. Let's talk about that for a second. Damn, this quick cast is getting long. Creatively, still haven't really touched music much, but it's been super super fun streaming on Twitch. Obviously I don't have very many viewers, but when I do, it's a good time. And one of the homies always pops up, and even got to play a couple rounds of Rainbow Six with like my old homie Bobby and my old homie Joseph. We ain't seen each other in forever, and then Joseph hopped in the stream, and I was like, "Yo, you want to play some R6?" And fucking there we were for an hour, chopping it up. But yeah, just trying to. I feel like I have a big problem with isolation whenever I'm going through stuff, so just trying to a not do that, and b you know reach out if necessary. Um, yeah, this is getting too long for my liking. That's all I gotta say. Appreciate y'all for listening. If I can figure out where the, here we go.